Welcome back to Math Minutes with Ozzy. I'm a little froggy this morning, so y'all just overlook the frog in my throat. I'm a little stopped up. All right, so let's go over this quick check for those of you that didn't do as well as we had hoped. Number one says, identify the constant of proportionality in the graph below. I told you when we went through the review that when you see constant of proportionality, that should be an automatic brain dump. And we need to just go ahead and dump our brain and talk and write down everything we know about constant of proportionality. We know that it's unit rate. We know that it is K equals Y over X. And we also know that if we want to write it as an ordered pair, it's 1Y. So, of course, since we're looking at our graph, we're going to be kind of focused on the 1Y first. So, in order to define the constant of proportionality in a graph, you're going to go to 1 on your graph and draw a corner. Come to that point and draw a corner. Now, we got lucky right here because that corner is in a perfect crosshair. It hits in a perfect cross point, and it hits right over here at 60. So we can say that that ordered pair, we know that ordered pair is 160. This is our X, this is our Y. So we're going to take that ordered pair and write it now using our ratio. We're going to write it using the ratio. So we've got K equals Y, Y over X. Y is 60, X is 1, making the constant of proportionality here 60. All right. Mike pays $20 per hour for algebra tutoring. The equation Y equals 20X relates the cost of tutoring Y to the number of hours X he tutored. Identify the unit rate in the equation. So now when we see the word equation, we've got to tell ourselves Y equals KX. So I'm going to come up under that Y equals KX and write the equation that's in the problem. Y equals 20X, and I'm looking for the unit rate in the equation. I know that unit rate is K. So if I just highlight right here that K and that 20, I can see that the unit rate there is 20. Number 3. The number of shoes Y produced in a factory is equal to 8 times the number of days X. All right, so let's write that for a minute. The number of shoes Y. So Y is the shoes. I'm going to write that as Y over X for just a minute. And X is the days. Okay? Days. All right. And if I take that and write it in my equation, Y equals 8X. It's telling me that it's 8 times the number of days X. So 8 times X. So that tells me my equation. What that equation now tells me, the equation now tells me that Y equals KX. So 8 right here is K. K is 8. And what I'm looking for over here in these tables is a table that has 8 as the constant of proportionality. All right. I'm going to start with answer choice D, because answer choice A is the answer. I'm going to start with D and go backwards because I want you to see why the others are not the answer, okay? So I'm just going to come out here and make me a little column that says K. And I'm going to write each one of these ordered pairs, y over x. Y over x, which means this is y right here. This is x. So it's going to be 9 over 3 equals 3. Now, I don't have to do the rest of them. I don't have to do the rest of them because I'm looking for 8. Okay? But I want to show you something. 12 over 5 equals, I don't even know, 2.4. I can stop right there because that's not even proportional. In order for it to be proportional, K has to be the same for every value. So that's not even proportional. That's not even proportional. Not proportional. So let's do this one. 11 over 3. We're doing y over x. Y over x. 11 divided by 3 is 3.6. Oh, Lord, here it goes. 3.67. All right. Then we got to do 13 over 5. Is 2.6. I'm going to stop right there. First of all, we know it's not the answer because I'm looking for 8. But it's also not proportional because those aren't the same. This is not the same, so that's not proportional. Look at C. Okay. 12 over 3 is 4. 20 over 5 is 4. All right, now we're on a little bit of a roll here. 36 over 9 is 4. And 48 over 12 is 4. That answer choice C is proportional. It is a proportional relationship because K is the same for every value. I did Y over X. For each one of those, they all gave me 4. So that is a proportional relationship, but it's not what I'm looking for because I'm looking for 8. So this is proportional. That is proportional, but it's not what I'm looking for because it's not 8. So look at answer choice A, and let's look at how that is the answer. This is doing Y over X. 24 over 3 is 8. 40 over 5 is 8. Let's double check, make sure I'm still recording. 72 over 9 is 8. And 96 over 12 is 8. And I get 8 for all of those. 8, 8, 8, 8. That means that 8, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the shoes to be 8 times more than the days. And 20, so 3 times 8 is 24. The shoes is 8 times more than the days. And so A here is our answer. All right. A tree that is 4 feet tall casts a shadow of 16 feet. Which graph shows the relationship between X, the height of the object, and Y, the length of the shadow? Well, K equals Y over X. Let's do that first. Actually, let's don't. Let's don't. We're not going to need to do that. We can do that, but we don't need to do that. We're going to actually take this. We're going to take what we're given, 4 feet and 6 feet. I do want to write that. I do want to show you how to pull this out of the problem, though, because this is important. Between X, the height. So the height is X. So X is going to be my height. And the length is, and that's important you got to pull that out of there. X is the height and Y is the length. You need that because we're actually going to set up an ordered pair. We're going to set us up an XY ordered pair. This is our X value. This is our Y value. This would be our height. And this is going to be our length. Okay? So when you write that height length, you get 4/16. So the first thing I'm going to do is take that 4 and that 16, just see if I can plot it on here and see what happens, okay? So X is 4, so if I come to 4, I'm going to blow this up a little bit. Come to 4 and come up to 16. That doesn't hit my line. 4/16. That doesn't hit my line. 4/16. 4/16. Look at there. Perfect point right there on that line. And so D is the answer. All right. We could have done it based off of the unit rate. We could have said Y over X is 16/4, which makes the unit rate 4/1. When you take that 4/1 and write that as an ordered pair, you get 1/4. And if you come back to the graph that we did, 1/4 is also a point on that graph. Which equation models the proportional relationship between the number of logs X and the number of hours Y? So we're looking for an equation, but we got to get K first. We have to have the ratio. We have to have K equals Y over X before we can do our equation, okay? It tells us in the problem that the number of logs is X. So I'm going to write logs right there so I remember where to put it. The number of hours is Y. So hours goes there so I know where to put it. Now I'm going to come right here and I'm going to write using this. We're going to write our ratio. Whoops. K equals hours is 6, logs is 8. And when you put that in the calculator, you're going to get 0.75. Catching my back. 0.75 is K. Now we take that, Y equals KX, and we write it in the equation. Y equals 0.75x. And there's your equation. You have to have the ratio to write the equation. Now, one of the things that I want you to be aware of when you're taking tests, doing that, it's asking you for the equation. So we should have immediately done Y equals KX right here to know that's the equation I'm looking for. And just from that, we could have gotten rid of answer choice B and answer choice D because both of those had X equals in it. And we don't have an X equals anything. So we're going to, those are gone. Now I'm just looking for the one that's Y equals 0.75, and that's C. At the same rate, how many logs will keep the fire burning for 24 hours? So let's take now we're going to write our proportion. Our proportion was hours and logs. So 6 hours. Hang on, I need to make that a little bit smaller so I have enough room. Hours and logs, 6 hours, 8 logs. 24 hours would be how many logs? Now we're going to solve this by cross multiplying. We cross multiply in my room. Start with the variable, cross multiply. X times 6 is 6x. 8 times 24 is 192. Now we have this little small one-step equation. Divide both sides by 6. And X equals 32. It takes half a cup of sugar to make 3/4 pounds of fudge. Number 7 was one that I noticed we missed. It was one of the most missed questions. I think it was just a matter of the fractions messing you up. So let's take a minute and look at that. If the recipe is for 1 pound of fudge, how much sugar is needed to make 6 times the recipe? So let's set up this proportion first. We have cups of sugar. Well, we have sugar. Let's do sugar and fudge. So sugar is 1/2 cup of sugar makes 3/4 pounds of fudge. And I want to know how much sugar right this minute would make 1 pound. I'm going to find the unit rate first. I'm going to find out how much sugar it takes to make 1 pound. Okay? So, I told you, when you have the 1 over here, when we're finding unit rate and you have the 1 right here, you don't have to do all the cross multiplying. Just take this and divide it. That only works in a proportion when you're finding unit rate. That only works in a proportion when you're finding unit rate, okay? But we're going to do 1/2 divided by 3/4. And we get 2/3. Good morning, Miss Barbara. Miss Barbara is coming in to empty the trash. I'm making a video going over our quiz yesterday. So if you hear me talking, Miss Barbara, I'm just on the video. I'm not going to stump it. So now we have, for 1 pound of fudge, it takes 2/3 cups of sugar. But the question is asking you how much is needed to make 6 times the recipe. So we're going to have to take that 2/3 now. Now we're going to take that 2/3, multiply it by 6, and we get 4. And we get 4. Oh. All right. A couple more. Adam can eat 3/8 of a pizza in 1/16 of a minute. Compute the unit rate. So we're just setting this up like we did that last one. I'm just going to do pizza per minute. So 3/8 of a pizza in 1/16 of a minute. How much pizza can he eat in 1 minute? Again, we're doing unit rate. So all we have to do is that division right there. All we have to do is that division. That only works with unit rate. That only works with unit rate. I need to make sure you get that in your head. That only works with unit rate, okay? Divided by 1/16. And x equals 6. Number 9. Jim runs laps around his block every morning before school. The graph shows a proportional relationship between the time in minutes and the number of laps completed. So first we want to identify the constant of proportionality. Oh, there it is again. And I told you, when you see constant of proportionality, we're going to do a brain dump real quick. Constant of proportionality is unit rate. It is it's K equals, Y over X. As an ordered pair, it's going to be 1Y. All right? So to find the constant of proportionality, I want you to go to the ordered pair, go to 1. So if we come right here to 1, that's going to be our ordered pair, 1Y. But if you look, if we draw our corner, that point is not a perfect point. The unit rate doesn't hit at a perfect point. And for us to get a definitive unit rate, we've got to have a perfect point that crosses at a perfect crosshair. So we're going to come to point A. And that point A is 3, 2. X is 3, Y is 2. To find the constant of proportionality, we've got to write that as k equals y over x, which is going to be 2 over 3. I think a lot of the ones that missed this one put D. D is not the answer because that's x over y. We want C, which is y over x. And number 10, I noticed on a lot of papers, I had several people who made it 80 or 90, and the only thing they missed was number 10. And it was because of it was exactly because of what I did first. When you read this statement right here, if Jim runs 3 minutes, he completes 2 laps. And that 100% lines up with what the graph says. If he runs 3 minutes, he completes 2 laps, okay? But look at the ordered pair. The ordered pair we're looking for is 3, 2. And that ordered pair doesn't match. If you come down to answer choice C, because we know that B's not right because it runs 2 minutes. That can't be right. D's not right because it runs 2 minutes. That's not it either. Answer choice C says the same thing right here as A. If Jim runs 3 minutes, he completes 2 laps. A and C say the same thing. What separates them is this right here. And I'll be honest with you, when I did the key the first time, I put A and had to go back and I thought, wait a minute. So you've got to be careful. You have to look at everything. And a lot of people just saw the statement, which was correct. This statement right here was correct. This ordered pair was not. This statement is correct. This ordered pair is correct, which makes C the answer. So you have to be very careful because that's the kind of, you don't want to make those kind of mistakes. Those are the kind of mistakes that you're making. The last thing I want to do is make a mistake when I know what I'm doing. It's different than making a mistake when you don't know what you're doing and making a mistake when you know what you're doing. It's a lot more frustrating to make mistakes when you really know what you're doing. So be careful and go through this as many times as you need to. And know that I love you. I mean it. And it's Friday. Come back next week and we'll have some more Math Minutes with Bozzy. Have a great weekend. Love you. Bye.